Welcome back, everyone. We're now going to start the public hearing portion of our meeting. And this is item number 21. This is a
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Got
This is a public hearing before the Boston Redevelopment Authority doing business as a Boston Planning and Development Agency, being held in conformance with Section 80B-5.3D of the Boston Zoning Code to consider the proposed Boston University Party School of Global Studies project. This hearing was duly advertised on May 22nd, 2025 in the Boston Herald. This is a BPDA hearing on a proposed petition by the agency. Staff members will first present their case and are subject to questioning by members of the agency. Thereafter, anyone who wishes to testify about the proposed project will be afforded an opportunity. We are taking support and opposition at the same time. If you are planning to testify via Zoom, please take time now to verify that your computer microphone is active and click on the hand icon of your Zoom control panel. This will signal to the staff that you would like to speak. When your hand is raised, it will be blue. If you're calling into the meeting and would like to testify, please dial *9 to raise your hand. When I call for all testimony, staff will announce your name and allow you to talk. You must unmute your microphone and your webcam will not be active. If you're planning to testify in person in the boardroom, please line up behind the podium after the presentation is concluded and we will call on you. In an effort to accommodate all who would like to speak about this proposal, each person will be given up to 2 minutes to comment. BPDA staff will indicate when 30 seconds remain, and at that time, please conclude your remarks so that the hearing may continue and others may be heard. Finally, the proponents are allowed a period of 5 to 10 minutes for rebuttal if they so desire. Tyler.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Secretary Polimis, and Director Shen. My name is Tyler Ross. I'm a Senior Project Manager in the Development Review Division. The proposal before you is the BU Party School of Global Studies project located in the Kenmore neighborhood. On February 12, 2025, BU filed a PNF for the Party School of Global Studies project. The proposed project consists of transforming an existing approximately 56,000 square foot surface parking lot into the Party School of Global Studies academic building, entailing 70,000 square feet of gross floor area with approximately 50,000 square feet of open space surrounding the building located at 250 Bay State Road. The Planning Department hosted a task force and public meeting on February 26, 2025, which was well attended and advertised in the local newspapers. BU also worked with task force members and local elected officials to garner support for the proposed Party School of Global Studies project. Also, I'm excited to share that the proponent collaborated with the Planning Department staff to test the new process improvements as a part of Article 80 modernization throughout the Party School's large project review process. These efforts include the submission of the community engagement plan, updated filing materials, or participation in the streamlined BCDC review process. These actions, new tools, and processes were intended to encourage meaningful community engagement, create predictable and timely review, and were appreciated by the proponent as well as community members participating in this review. Now I'll turn it over to Greg Snyder from BU to present. Thank you to the members of the public, elected officials, and city agencies who helped review the proposed Boston University Party School of Global Studies. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. Good evening, Chair Rojas, members of the board, Secretary Polimis, and Director Shen. I am Greg Snyder, Vice President for Campus Planning and Operations, and on behalf of Boston University, I'm seeking approval for the construction of the Party School of Global Studies on the university's Charles River campus. Before I go into the details of the project, we are thankful for the collaboration with the Planning Department to test several process improvements as part of Article 80 modernization. This included, as Tyler noted, submitting a preliminary community engagement plan, reorganizing filing materials for more efficient staff review, and participating in a streamlined BCDC process. These new tools and processes ensured for a very meaningful and consistent review with city agencies and the community. We also would like to thank the members of the Charles River Campus Community Task Force for their guidance throughout the process. Construction of the Party School Global Studies will provide 850 direct and 510 indirect construction jobs, the transformation of a surface parking lot into an acre of new open space surrounding a LEED Gold certified building that we hope will become one of the tallest mass timber towers in Boston once completed. Next slide. Here is a satellite image of the Charles River campus highlighting the location of the project site. And on the next slide, please, This map illustrates the university's footprint stretching from Kenmore Square to Packard's Corner. In the upper right-hand corner, a callout highlights the 3 proposed institutional projects included in our 2024 to 2026 institutional master plan, which will strengthen the academic core of the university, our central campus. Next slide, please. To provide additional context for the project siting, this visual highlights the locations of the existing surface parking lot and key BU properties in the vicinity. The project will create 63,000 gross floor area within a 186-foot tall building and nearly an acre of new open space. This open space will feature a variety of landscape typologies for arrival, gathering, and activation of the area. Next slide, please. Here's a view of the existing surface parking lot that will be transformed by this project. And on the next slide, please. This view shows how the building's placement within the landscape creates a new front door to the admissions reception center and facing the Charles River and enhances connectivity throughout the central campus. The siting allows the building to emerge from the landscape, integrating architecture with the natural surroundings. Next slide, please. Currently, the Pardee School is spread across multiple buildings throughout the university's campus. This project aims to unite the Pardee School under one roof, creating a facility that fosters collaboration amongst its centers. Guided by the Pardee School's mission and aspirations, the building's design is rooted in the idea of strengthening community. The 3 primary design principles shaped the vision of this 12-story building: campus connectivity, building neighborhood, and carbon neutrality. Next slide, please. The building's spatial concept is organized around a series of neighborhoods, clusters of shared and private spaces designed to foster a sense of community and collaboration between faculty and students throughout the day. The building's exterior carefully balances opacity and transparency, showcasing the building's dynamic social activities. This is achieved through the use of 2 types of triple glazed curtain wall systems. Sapphire Vision Glass is used in private areas such as offices and support spaces. It is composed of a solar shading inner layer that preserves outward views while providing privacy, reflecting light, and minimizing exterior glare. And clear low-E glass is strategically placed to reduce glare and maximize transparency, visually connecting the building with its surroundings. This transparency showcases the exposed mass timber and collaborative spaces, reinforcing the architectural identity of the building. Next slide. Here is a view facing west on Bay State Road. On the next slide. Here is a view facing east on Bay State Road. Next slide, please. This is a view facing east on Commonwealth Avenue from the BU Bridge intersection. Next slide, please. This is a view facing west from the event space on the 12th floor terrace. And on the next slide is a view of the building from across the Charles River. Next slide, please. The design of the Pardee School demonstrates how urban densification can be achieved in a carbon-neutral manner while adding green space and integrating ecological infrastructure into the existing community fabric. By transforming an existing parking lot into an all-electric, mass timber building with over an acre of open space, the project advances BU's legacy of trailblazing, climate-resilient, and forward-thinking design. On the next slide. This is where I conclude, and I thank you all, and especially thank you to the Planning Department for their assistance and their collaboration throughout this process.
Okay, thank you very much. This is a public hearing, so we'll go to public testimony first before board questioning. If anybody would like to testify, please come up to the podium now, and then we'll follow with those that are on Zoom. Welcome.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Secretary Polhemus, Director Shen, and members of the board. My name is Pam Beal, and I'm here in my capacity as Chair of the Boston University Community Task Force to express the task force's support for the new Pardee School of Global Studies project. This will consolidate a growing academic program into a new state-of-the-art building while creating a much-needed green space on campus. And I really appreciate your support this evening. I think it's an important project to move forward. And I also want to take the opportunity to thank Tyler Ross for a well-organized, transparent, and inclusive community review process.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Director Shen, Madam Secretary, Mina Perez, uh, Executive Director for the Carpenters Labor Management with the Carpenters Union. We are here, and I'm here to support this project. Boston University is a great institution where dozens and dozens of our union carpenters are always working at, and we really thank you for those jobs. It's greatly appreciated. Also, I'm testifying on behalf of our employers, dozens of them that put our members to work, employers that meet and follow a state and federal law, that have provided opportunities to our apprentices to start their careers at places like Boston University in construction. So we really appreciate the opportunity. We look forward to the construction jobs, and we're in strong support of the project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Madam Chair, members of the board, Secretary Polhemus, and Director Shen. My name is Erica Johnson, and I am also a member of the Charles River Campus Task Force. I'm speaking here tonight both as an Alston resident, as a member of the task force, but also as an urban planner with over 20 years of experience in sustainability, higher ed development, and permitting. BU identified a need for a single building to bring the Pardee School together from multiple smaller spaces. The university is turning a surface parking lot into a thoughtfully designed site that incorporates a taller building into a relatively small footprint to allow additional surrounding green space that integrates with the existing campus. The building itself uses space efficiently with right-sized offices and communal spaces that allow for both quiet and collaborative work. It also incorporates the best of cutting-edge sustainable design, continuing BU's stellar track record of green building and operations. It will create another iconic building on campus, and I look forward to seeing it come under construction. And echoing Pam's comments, I would also like to thank Tyler Ross for guiding us through this public review process.
Thank you. Additional questions or comments in the room? Or, I mean, no, that's not additional comments. Like, sorry. Anybody on the Zooms?
John Cusack, you can unmute yourself.
Again, thank you. Good afternoon to the board. This project, I think, a mass timber project in a parking lot of the BU is going to be a win anyway. But the process, as I observed it, I'm from Brighton, and watching this project come along has really been impressive. Again, just not to pile on, but Tyler Ross is the epitome of professionalism and a credit to the people who are employed by the city of Boston, and really, really brings a lot. I like this project. I can't wait for it to start. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael Burns, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Madam Chair Rojas, Madam Secretary Polhemus, Director Shen, and distinguished members of the board. My name is Michael Burns. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the Boston Building Trades and all of our affiliates. Firstly, to reiterate what some others have said, thank you, as always, to Tyler Ross and your BPDA staff for facilitating these important community meetings. You always include all stakeholders, and we all appreciate your hard work. Thank you also to Mr. Snyder and Boston University team for always being great partners with the building trades unions, putting our community members that live in our neighborhoods to work. As we all know, college is not always an option for every kid coming out of high school, and the building trades apprenticeship programs provide a great alternative for all these kids. You know, in the building trades, we like to call it the other 4-year or 5-year degree. And to know that we have a world-class institution like Boston University partnering with us to provide these opportunities in the construction of these new buildings on the campuses is why we're here in support. And we truly do appreciate our continued partnership with the university. So on behalf of the Boston Building Trades Unions, we rise tonight in full support of this project, and thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Dan Cuddy, you can unmute yourself.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. My name is Dan Cuddy. I'm a longtime Boston University Task Force member. I wholeheartedly support this project. As a lifelong resident of Brighton, I'm aware of the Part A School and the Global Studies, which has been a long overdue for a refurbishment to be one of the top programs nationally. I'm enthusiastic and hopeful for the Potty School, currently ranked nationally 41st, to become, upon completion of the project, to emerge as a leading global studies higher education institution in the Northeast. I'm deeply appreciative of Boston University's commitment and improvement to the public realm and the open space that it has, and will enhance the green space and beautiful Charles River views. Very satisfied to give my support for the renovation of the Potty School of Global Studies. I've been impressed by Boston University's excellence in clean energy, net zero carbon emissions, and leading higher education and environmentally green initiatives and sustainability. BU exceeds the City of Boston's climate-ready new mandates, as well as being ahead of the curve nationally. I could not be prouder of my time serving as a task force member of BU's investment in the City of Boston youth and the Boston Public Schools, which has been making a difference in the lives of inner-city children for decades. I'm excited for the new next era in Boston University's history, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Chris Strang, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate your time this evening. I'm a fellow member of the Community Task Force, and I echo the statements and adopt those made by my fellow task force members, and in particular, Task Force Chairwoman Beal. I am speaking in favor of this project as I have reviewed the plans, investigated the property, and I find it to be visually pleasing as a proposal, as well as environmentally friendly, and gives careful consideration to the needs of the students and faculty that will be using it every day. And it will be a nice addition to the campus. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to testify about this project? Please raise your virtual hand if you're in Zoom. Madam Chair, I believe this concludes the public hearing.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the board?
I have a couple of comments. First, Tyler, I hope when you have your next job performance review, you just run this tape to indicate some excellent work. So well done. Similarly, wanted to thank members of the task force, and also I know Kenny Ryan is here and Jake Sullivan. I think it speaks volumes about a great collaborative approach. Madam Chair, I think thank you for being here. There is always some natural tension between many institutions of higher learning and the neighbors, and I think this is confounded that conventional wisdom by working together. So I have no questions other than to say I support it. I guess I do have one question. Appreciate the commitment to sustainability. BU not only talks the talk, but walks the walk. Dennis Carlberg and his team do exceptional work each and every day. The Jenga building is one of the new iconic Boston skylines. So appreciate the work gone into this. I'm curious if there's any solar, if there are any PV arrays.
We made it solar ready, so we could add it at the time that we can.
But I would assume it would be high enough that it wouldn't be prevented by a shadow of trees canopy or anything.
Correct.
So great. Okay. Well, I hope that solar ready turns into more PV panels, because I know again BU has done some exceptional work in the sustainability space.
Through the chair, definitely I have to say, Tyler, great job. Definitely recognize that, and great job to the whole team on everything you've done up to this point. Yes, definitely mass timber structure. That's a beautiful thing to see, and I guess that's a beautiful. Just beautiful to be the one to have one of the tallest buildings in Boston going up in the mass timber world. So that's great to hear. I know green is expensive, but you guys make green look fun. I'm serious about that. And the stack building that you guys did before, driving up Starl Drive, driving on the Mass Pike to be able to see eventually two structures such as these two, it's beautiful for the city of Boston, and I definitely appreciate it. My question would be, as far as timing on construction, do you see any hurdles or anything that would stop you guys from going forward in the pace that you're going right now? We have a lot of projects that have been approved, but we haven't seen too many shovels in the ground. So I would just ask if you foresee any hurdles.
Our original intent was to start construction in May of 2026. We're going to start it in May of 2027 is our current plan based on the current state of our financials. We felt that to have the right liquidity and cash flow to allow us to pivot if we needed to, give us a little bit more time. So our plan right now is
you guys have a few other projects going on as we speak. So again, thank you for everything you do, and
thank you.
Great presentation.
I think this is a really terrific and innovative project. I commend you for moving forward with it. Who's your architect?
Diller Scofidio Renfro, a wonderful design firm.
Right, folks who did the ICA building. And a few other interesting buildings. As far as I know, the only other timber frame structure in the Commonwealth of this scale is out at UMass. That was done 2 or 3 years ago, give or take. I think that there are probably some interesting challenges around workforce development and training for the workers who will work on this very unique structure. Could you describe the job training that you've got in place for this?
So we've been working with our CM, Turner Construction, who has started the procurement review process, but we haven't actually fully gone into the procurement process. But our goal is, as a learning institution, is to also see how this process can help our colleagues in the building trades learn how mass timber is an alternative way of constructing buildings in the city of Boston. So we've had some conversations, and we're looking forward to expanding those. They're really at the initial stage right now.
It's inevitable that this is going to be viewed as a model for high-rise timber frame. And I wonder what kinds of plans you might be contemplating so that folks who are considering doing something similar can have opportunities to get through the building, both during the construction process and after.
We'll definitely open the door for that. We'll add that to our agenda. Thank you for that consideration.
Terrific.
Thank you.
You guys are doing nice work.
Appreciate that.
Speaking of timber, where do you get the timber from here? I mean, that might be just like a
So,
weird question,
in
but I'm
the-
just thinking about like, where do those trees grow and how to,
Domestically, Maine and Oregon are two of the leading locations for mass timber production. And Canada is shortly followed after that. Most people have been getting their timber for these type of structures from Canada. So we're looking at those options. There are also European options as well.
okay.
But of course, trying to figure out the cost for
Oh, yeah, yeah,
transport
yeah.
will be
Yeah.
a big part of this process.
Yeah, no, it was, cool. Well, look, I just think this is, thank you, Tyler. It's all about Tyler, but also thank you to our task force members who were both on the Zoom and here and present. I always enjoy reading your comments and your letters, and I really appreciate, these are not easy processes to lead through, and your consistent and collaboration and leadership is just so appreciative. And just thank you for being committed and committing your time. This is a volunteer, position, and I just very, very thankful for you. Cool. With that, there are no other questions or comments. A motion is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call for a vote. Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Dr. Landsmark?
Aye.
Mr. O'Malley?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Good luck. Yay. We'll give that a second. Okay. Tyler, it's all you today. All right, we're gonna let people come in. And we'll get started. Awesome. Okay, next item on the agenda, item number 22. This is a public hearing before the Boston Redevelopment Authority, doing business as a Boston Planning and Development Agency, being held in conformance with Section 80B-5.4C of the Boston Zoning Code to consider the proposed future cancer hospital project. This hearing was duly advertised on May 28th, 2025 in the Boston Herald. This is a BPDA hearing on the proposed petition by the agency Staff members will first present their case and are subject to questioning by members of the agency. Thereafter, anyone who wishes to testify about the proposed project will be afforded an opportunity. We are taking support and opposition at the same time, so if you're planning to testify via Zoom, please take time now to verify that your computer microphone is active. Click on the hand icon on your Zoom control panel, and this will signal to the staff that you would like to speak. When your hand is raised, it will be blue. If you're calling into the meeting and would like to testify, please dial *9 to raise your hand. When I call for all testimony, staff will announce your name and allow you to talk. You must unmute your microphone and your webcam will not be active. If you are planning to testify in person in the boardroom, please line up behind the podium after the presentation has concluded and we will call on you. In an effort to accommodate all who would like to speak about this proposal, each person will be given up to 2 minutes to comment. BPDA staff will indicate when 30 seconds remain, and at that time, please kindly conclude your remarks that the hearing may continue and others may be heard. Finally, the proponents are allowed a period of 5 to 10 minutes for rebuttal if they so desire. Tyler.
This is my chance to say thank you back. So again, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Secretary Polimis, and Director Shen, Tyler Ross, Senior Project Manager in the Development Review Division. The proposal before you is the One Jocelyn Place project, also known as the Future Cancer Hospital, located in the Longwood Medical Area. On December 11, 2023, Dana-Farber and Beth Israel both filed a joint IMP&F to kick off the Article 80 review of the One Jocelyn Place project. The project was included in the IMPs for both institutions, and its zoning envelope was approved at the October 10, 2024 board meeting. The proposed project entails the demolition of the existing Jocelyn Diabetes Center building and the construction of a new approximately 450,000 square foot 14-story building with approximately 300 inpatient beds, approximately 20 observation beds, and 5,000 square feet of retail space on the ground floor, accessible from Brookline Ave. The project will also include 2 pedestrian connectors, one across Brookline Ave and one across Pilgrim Road, to enhance better connectivity of the Dana-Farber and Beth Israel campuses, as well as provide safe internal connections for future patients. Beth Israel is expected to own the below-grade portion in the above first floor at the podium, while Dana-Farber anticipates it will own the building above the first floor of the building podium, subject to the final terms of their long-term air rights lease. Dana-Farber and Beth Israel have committed to substantial public realm and transportation infrastructure improvements as a part of the One Jocelyn project, especially with regards to the proposed reconstruction of Jocelyn Park and the proposed roadway reconfiguration. The One Jocelyn Place project team and planning department staff worked tirelessly to create a safer proposed pedestrian network and more enjoyable park experience, which was well received by the Boston Civic Design Commission, who has since issued a letter of support for the proposed Jocelyn Park redesign. Additional community benefits include upgrades to Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, Riverway, Greenway space, Brookline Avenue improvements, opening Pilgrim Road to the public in a 2-way condition, Longwood Avenue and Pilgrim Road intersection improvements, Riverway, Pilgrim Road, and Netherlands Road intersection improvements, as well as financial contributions to the Boston Housing Acquisition Loan Fund, Boston Public Health Commission Cancer Screening Program, the Tobin BCYF, and Fenway Community Center. In total, the mitigation and community benefits for this project proposal is estimated to be approximately just over $21 million. The BPDA hosted 4 task force and public meetings on February 10, 2025, March 17, 2025, March 31, 2025, and May 7, 2025, all of which were well attended and advertised in the local newspapers. The One Jocelyn Place team has also garnered support from task force members and local elected officials. Now we'll turn it over to Ella Wise to go over the planning context before Wendy Gettleman and Michael Hinchcliffe present. Thank you to the members of the public, elected officials, and city agencies who helped review the proposed One Jocelyn project. Thank you.
Thanks, Tyler. Good evening, Chair Rojas, members of the board, Secretary Polimis, and Director Shen. Nice to see you all again. My name is Ella, and I'm a senior planner on the planning review team. For background, as a reminder, an institutional master plan, or IMP, provides the comprehensive planning, cumulative impact analysis, and community benefits of development on an institutional campus. An IMP also creates a zoning overlay district, setting the use and dimensional guidance for individual projects. The proposed project before you is identified as the sole proposed institutional project in both the 2024 Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center IMP and the 2024 Dana-Farber Cancer IMP, both of which were recently approved by this body. In addition to the IMPs providing that context, the city's Fenway Transportation Action Plan, which is currently in progress and known as FTAP, informed the proposed project and associated public realm improvements and will continue to inform the city staff's post-board review. So the proposed project's uses and massing are consistent with the IMPs. Since adoption of those IMPs, the design of the building and the public realm improvements and pedestrian connectors over Brookline Ave and Pilgrim Road have been advanced. In addition, as Tyler alluded to, the community benefits, I want to connect some of those back to the IMP in the greater context. So in order to deliver on the community benefits and mitigation improvements in the IMP to reconstruct Joslyn Park and improve Brookline Ave, the proposed project includes a reconfiguration of the public realm immediately proximate to the building, including the redesign for an improved Joslyn Park and a reconfiguration of Brookline Ave, as well as Pilgrim, Joslyn, and Deaconess Roads. So on the slide, you can see at the top is existing and bottom is proposed. The Brookline Avenue is in Boston's high crash network and remains a planning priority for safer roadway design as part of the FTAP. The reconfiguration improves pedestrian safety by removing the unsafe condition of an unsignalized left turn lane, which you can see called out there, across Brookline Avenue and across a crosswalk, consolidates two intersections into one, and introduces new and improved crosswalks surrounding the park. The proposed reconfiguration of the park increases the square footage and significantly improves the quality of space for the public at large. Noted in the board memo, the proposed project is subject to further review, including ongoing planning department design review, other applicable city department and commission review, as well as Boston City Council and Massachusetts General Court under Article 97 for the changes in the boundaries to Joslyn Park. With that, thank you very much for your time, and I'll pass it to the development team to present the proposal.
Thank you, Chair Rojas. Thank you, Director Shen. Thank you to the board. Thank you. Tyler, where are you? There you are. It's been a road, right, Tyler? Good evening. My name is Wendy Gettleman. I am the Vice President of Facilities Management and Real Estate at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. And before I get started, I'd love to introduce some of the colleagues that are here with me today. So let's start with Jared Dorr, who is the Vice President of Capital Facilities and Engineering at BIDMC. Michael Hinchcliffe, who you will hear from after me. He's the principal at Payette. John Radigan is counsel for BIDMC from DLA Piper. Darren Baird is Dana-Farber's counsel from Wilson & Storrs. And Joe O'Farrell is our construction executive from Dana-Farber. Next slide, please. So this snapshot shows key areas that were detailed in our approved IMP in the areas of housing, significant job creation, community engagement and contribution, and our sustainability efforts. Dana-Farber and BIDMC are absolutely committed to our neighbors and communities here in the city of Boston. We are very proud of our long history in this city and appreciate this opportunity. Next slide, please. The collaboration between Dana-Farber and Beth Israel was announced in the fall of 2023. Dana-Farber believes that when cancer is all you do, there is an advantage to that focus and expertise that benefits each patient. By integrating our care in a single cancer hospital, we believe that we can provide higher quality, less fragmented care. This project ensures that we are prepared for the future of cancer care, a dedicated cancer hospital that leverages world-class, multidisciplinary teams of experts from several subspecialties without duplicating costly services and resources already available in the area. Next slide, please. You may be asking why here and why now? Unfortunately, there is an acute need for more inpatient beds in the state and across the country. nearly every family is touched by cancer in some way, and the statistics are stark. A 2021 study by the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, predicts that the annual number of cancer cases will increase 49% by 2050, primarily due to the growth and aging of the U.S. population. The proposed 300-bed hospital will help this region keep pace with the increasingly alarming rates of cancer incidence. As advances in cancer treatment are developed, Dana-Farber remains at the forefront and will be positioned to assure patients have access to innovative therapies as they are developed. Today, we are one of the leading transplant centers in the United States, offering cutting-edge care such as CAR-T therapy. We recognize that a dedicated cancer hospital requires close integration and the expertise of a comprehensive academic medical center. Dana-Farber's close physical proximity and new clinical affiliation with the IDMC assures patients will continue to have the expertise of some of the world's best oncology, medical, and surgical clinicians. As the population ages in the U.S. and the incidence of cancer rises in younger people at a distressing rate, more and more patients will need our care. We need to act now and plan and prepare for the future of cancer care. In summary, Dana-Farber's proposed new cancer hospital will help improve health outcomes for patients, increase access with a proposed 300 beds in the facility, lower costs, and advance equity. This project will also provide additional employment opportunities as well as other public benefits to our city and the region. And with the next slide, I will hand it over to Michael. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wendy. Chair Rojas, Secretary Polimas, Director Shen, members of the board, good evening. My name is Michael Hinchcliffe. I'm an architect, principal in charge of the project with Payette. I'm happy to call Boston my home for a long time. Payette is happy to call Boston our home for almost 100 years, and we are so honored and humbled to be able to work with Dana-Farber and Beth Israel on this exciting project. We're here in front of you today after what has been an incredibly engaging and beneficial process, both with the BPDA, the BCDC, the task force, and the community, to really help make this project better. And I'll share with you in the next few slides some images of how the project has evolved since we were last before you with those institutional master plans that Ella told you about a minute ago. On the next slide, for context, we are here in the Longwood Medical and Academic area. As Wendy said, with the collaboration between Beth Israel and Dana-Farber, the site is at the key juncture between the two campuses, located along Longwood Avenue. On the next slide, we see that it's the current site of the Joslin Diabetes Center. So in this plan, as was described earlier, as a result of the institutional master plans, there'll be significant improvements to the public realm, the pedestrian safety network, and the streets that are part of our off-site mitigation in the surrounding neighborhood. When we look at the next slide, we are at the location today of the Joslin Diabetes Center, now a part of the Beth Israel and Deaconess Medical Center system, and the future home of the Cancer Hospital. This is also an old work of Tom Payette, so there's some big shoes for us to fill. On the next slide, the building itself is the expression of care and the dedication to, on the next slide please, to patient-forward design. The architectural concept that's evolved over the past several months is one that seeks to synthesize softness and warmth, and that embodies the patient care and the dedication to saving lives every single day that will take place in this building, and the building hopes to express that. The next slide, we see our first image of the building. So the idea of a series of petals which enclose and embrace the patient rooms, around the idea of a stem, expressing the family lounges and space dedicated to caregivers in the building, rising from a solid base that engages the pedestrian realm with an active and varied facade that is not only as engaging on this, to the cityscape, but also responsive to its performance and environmental goals. On the next slide, the building itself will be not only a contributor on a sunny day, but through our long New England nights and winters, responding not only to the environment, but becoming what's been described as a subtle and restrained, elegant contribution to our skyline. On the next slide, looking at the building in more detail, a hospital is really a small city. It's organized under traditional principles, so there's a tower with 10 floors of inpatient beds, dedicated units to cancer care in those specialties that Wendy described to us earlier. Intensive care units, units that are dedicated to bone marrow transplant, and those cutting-edge treatments and clinical trials that make care at Dana-Farber so special, access to those unique treatments that were developed here. Sandwiched between mechanical floors and above a podium, diagnostic and treatment spaces will support the full operation of the cancer center. That's advanced imaging, that's pharmacies, kitchens, a dining pavilion for family and staff, as well as amenity spaces for families. There'll be 4 floors below grade. This is an underground parking garage operated in valet fashion, the same way that Dana-Farber operates their Yawkey building today, eliminating traffic and improving the experience for patients and their families as they arrive. There's a 10-foot grade change between Brookline Avenue and Pilgrim Road that the base of the building mitigates. There's also an underground center for radiation oncology treatment. There's a few above-ground connectors that were described earlier that I'll describe in a moment. On the next slide, let's look at an image of the building itself. The cladding is meant to be, again, an expression of softness and warmth, but also is concealing a number of sophisticated systems that are helping us achieve a high degree of environmental sustainability, as well as meeting the city and both proponents' aggressive goals for combating climate change. A rain screen cladding that will have a frit coating that mitigates against glare, provides a comfortable environment in the interior for patients, prevents bird strikes, and mitigates the heat loads. Advanced systems will help us achieve heat recovery, LEED Gold certification. We'll be charting our embodied carbon, as well as the material specifications to eliminate red list materials so they're not putting anything into the building that might cause cancer in a place where we're treating it. On the next slide, we've worked very closely with the city, with the BPDA and the BCDC, and I'd like to make a special thanks to everyone that's helped us advance and evolve the building over the past few months. Not only from the elegant profile of the tower that we see in the image on the left as it faces to the north, but for helping develop a way for the building to meet the pedestrian realm and grade in an exciting and engaging way. So with a rich terracotta rain screen on a durable granite base, the building frames an intuitive and welcoming entry along Joslyn Place. As we move along to the middle view on the bottom, there'll be 5,000 square feet of local retail. So the building itself organizes and dedicates a clear identity for that retail, contributing to the vibrant streetscape that exists today on Brookline Avenue and continuing those vital services not only for the building, but for the neighborhood. In the final image on the right, that glass rain screen cladding with a frit enclosure and these profiled metal trims also has subtle elements, a series of screens and blades that will enliven and enrich it during the day, but also help it blend in quite well with its neighbors and contribute to the district. On the next slide, we see that from the ground plan, as Ella described earlier, there are some significant improvements that we're proposing to the public realm. The front door will still be on Joslyn Place, facing Joslyn Park, in dialogue with a busy emergency room for Beth Israel opposite the park. Our service doors, loading dock and parking garage entry will remain on Pilgrim Road, but the proposed realignment of Joslyn Park to unify this intersection to increase pedestrian safety has really been a great benefit, and we really thank the city for working with us closely on this proposal. In the next slide, there's an aerial view that helps you understand this a little bit better. On the left is that view of Joslyn Park as it is today, the unregulated intersection, the hard left turn to get into Joslyn Place. On the right, working over in the coming months, Michael Van Valkenburg of Landscape Architects and the team look forward to working with the City Parks Department, the public, and the proponents to develop what we hope will be an enriching series of new landscapes, expanding the size of the park, providing a new plaza that can work off of Brookline Avenue, a series of accessible pathways through it. We're really quite excited about the possibilities that this presents not only for the city and the neighborhood, but for the public in general. On the next 3 slides, there's some site plans. This shows in red the existing footprint of the Joslyn Diabetes Center. The new proposed footprint of the cancer hospital is very similar. On the next slide, we see that we're holding the building back to create extended and widened public realm, widened sidewalks, improved frontage zones, working with the Complete Streets program, expanding the urban canopy, and again, to continue to work with BPDA staff and city departments on the design of the streets and roadways. On this final side of the site plan, it's a concept for the new park. The idea that we can have a series of small environments, plazas, spaces for community engagement activities, and again, the drastically improved publicly accessible and pedestrian safety measures that the park will offer for the district. On this next view here, you can see this is a sketch view from the new unified intersection, looking through the expanded park. In the background, you see the entrance to the cancer hospital on the left, the lobby, and a new garden that will view onto the city, extending the landscape of the park. And then to the right, you see one of those connectors that I mentioned earlier, a new gateway over Brookline Avenue to the city, providing that critical link. The next slide describes this network of third-floor connectors that are critical to the hospital and patient safety and patient care. The first connector is the Pilgrim connector. This is on the left-hand side of the screen with an elegant bridge that links to a covered pedestrian connector. It provides a vital link from the emergency room, from the surgeries, from advanced imaging, and other specialties on the BI West campus to the future cancer hospital. It links through the third floor through another connector across Brookline Avenue to the outpatient care network at Dana-Farber. So this allows for an intuitive, low-stress transfer from a patient directly from their outpatient appointment to the observation unit or to their inpatient beds. On this next slide, here are some views of the Brookline connector. We've worked very closely with city staff, with the BCDC and the BPDA to design a connector that's elegant and ethereal, over 30 feet above Brookline Avenue. It frames a gateway and view of the Fenway neighborhood inbound and of Brookline outbound, seamlessly linking the two structures for that critical patient care transfer. On my next and penultimate slide, here are some views of the Pilgrim connector. I'd like again to acknowledge that this area of the project really gained a lot of improvement and feedback through the process with the BCDC and the BPDA to really become a new public amenity, almost like a building that sits at the fourth wall at the head of the park, extending the public realm, provided shaded seating and an expansion of the park to the north, a covered route from the parking garage to BI West campus arrivals, and also again that critical link for inpatients from the hospital to care specialties at the West campus. On this final slide, again, we are very pleased to ask for approval this evening for what we hope will be not only an addition to the Boston skyline, but a critical augmentation of healthcare for our city and for our region. This incredible partnership and collaboration between Dana-Farber and Beth Israel, we hope one day that this building does fulfill its promise and save lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this is a public hearing, so we're going to take public testimony first. So if you'd like to speak about this project, we ask that you please come to the podium. Anybody in the room who wants to give comment? Yeah. I mean, just line up and go and.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Board members, Mina Perez, Executive Director for the Carpenters Labor Management. On behalf of hundreds of union carpenters, I want to go on record in support of this project. Also, on behalf of the employers that have built your facilities for many years, I want to also be in support. They're very happy to see this project move forward. I will also say that we have many members who have gotten medical attention at your facilities, and I think we are very lucky as Bostonians and people that live in Massachusetts to have such facilities in our state. I don't think many people realize how lucky we are, but keep up the great work. Thank you for the construction jobs, and keep up the, we're in support of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in the room who'd like to make a comment? You have 2 minutes. Floor is yours.
Hello, Chair Rojas, members of the board, Director Shen, Secretary Polimis. I'm Tom Yardley. I'm Vice President for Area Planning and Development at the Longwood Collective, formerly known as MASCO. We run all the shuttles, do area planning in the district, and our purview is very much the public domain and how the district functions, and by that logic, also the impacts on the city as a whole. And I specifically wanted to speak in support of the concept to reconfigure Joslyn Park, which we actually looked at independently as well, and found it to be extremely beneficial from a pedestrian safety point of view. From a Parks Department point of view as well, it's a net add, as Michael mentioned, in terms of adding much needed parkland in a very dense area, which helps with healing and mental health. We do a lot of placemaking in the district, so we think it'll be enormously valuable, not to mention also the improvements to traffic and circulation. This has been a long-standing sort of misalignment in terms of having two such closely spaced intersections. It's not very safe. If we're moving bus stops around, we're going to have even more pedestrians on sidewalks doing more pedestrian crossings, and it would make a lot of sense to consolidate it. So we'll be doing anything we can to help advance these public domain benefits, which we see as really significant. And thank you for shepherding the project through so effectively. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Anyone else in the room? Do we have anyone online?
Corey Jordan, you can unmute yourself.
Hello. Sorry, is there a video component?
No video, but
No
we can
video?
hear you
Oh,
loud
okay.
and clear.
Sorry about that. Yes, my name is Corey Jordan, and I'm here tonight on behalf of State Representative China Tyler, who fully supports this project. So I am going to basically pretty much give Rep. Tyler's remarks on this project. Good evening, and thank you for having me here tonight. I'm Representative China Tyler, and I represent neighborhoods of Boston, including Mission Hill, Roxbury, and the Longwood Medical Area, where Dana-Farber and its proposed cancer hospital are located. I am here to express my continued and strong support for this critical hospital project. I have been engaged throughout this process because I deeply believe in what this hospital represents for the people of Boston. Right now in Boston, there is a dire shortage of cancer beds. Too many patients are left waiting in emergency rooms, or worse, are unable to get the care that they need in time. This new 300-bed cancer hospital will help change that. But this is not just about capacity, it's about equity. Neighborhoods like Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, and Mission Hill have long faced barriers to care. Dana-Farber and Beth Israel's collaboration will enhance their partnerships with local health centers and others to close gaps and reduce health disparities. It also brings opportunity. With 2,400 new jobs, strong workforce development programs will grow that engage Boston Public Schools like John D. O'Brien, Fenway, and Madison Park, as well as community colleges, to help Boston residents gain important skills and establish pathways to healthcare careers. Boston is known for being a global epicenter for healthcare, and we need a dedicated cancer hospital to remain on the cutting edge. And the people of Boston deserve this hospital, one that will help advance health equity and save more lives. And we can't wait any longer to make it reality. I am grateful for your consideration, and I urge you to approve the Article 80 Lodge project as submitted for the agency's review. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheryl, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Cheryl McLeod, and I am a lifelong resident of Boston. And although Boston is lucky to have so many institutions providing cancer care as part of their service, Dana-Farber is the only institution that only treats cancer. When I received my diagnosis, I chose Dana-Farber because it was only one of two institutions at the time doing more than one clinical trial in triple-negative breast cancer, which is very aggressive if you know anything about it at all. I was afraid I was going to die when I was told I did not respond to the, quote, prescribed treatment. However, my team was able to tap into the latest, most promising methods and came up with a customized treatment plan, and that saved my life. And I really believe this new facility will give many, many more people a chance to survive. You know, it's really clear we need increased capacity in all areas of cancer care. Now, as a cancer survivor seeking a diagnostic mammogram, because I had a concern, once you go through cancer, you always think every lump is something. I called around every hospital within my health network to schedule a mammogram, and they were booking 2 months minimum out. Now, imagine if it's someone you love, or imagine if it's you worrying every day for 2 months minimum if your cancer is back. Would you want your loved one to go through that experience? That's why we need this hospital, because the way things are going, people battling cancer will suffer more, and people fighting cancer will die more. We will need the capacity to meet what's coming. It's about giving everyone in the future a fighting chance in cancer treatment and prevention. And cancer does not care who you are or how much money you have. Approval of this new cancer hospital means this is our best chance to save lives. And I know that Dana-Farber is committed to providing the very best care to all patients, and this new hospital will help them to continue to do so. I am proud to offer my support and ask you to vote in favor so that this new cancer hospital can move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael Burns, you can unmute yourself.
Good evening. Wow, those are very, very passionate testimony. It was very good to hear. Madam Chair Rojas, Madam Secretary Polhemus, Director Shen, and distinguished members of the board, my name is Michael Burns. And again, I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the Boston Building Trades and all of our affiliates. And I do have to thank again Mr. Tyler Ross. This is your night, Tyler, and the BPDA staff for all your hard work facilitating these important community meetings and bringing all stakeholders to the table. And if you need a reference when you do go in for your job review, please reach out because I'd be happy to provide some positive feedback. Thank you also again to Ella, Wendy, Michael, Darren, Jared, John, Joel, and the whole team for such a well thought out presentation on such a fantastic project. We'd like to rise tonight on the Boston Building Trades to overwhelmingly support Dana-Farber and all they do for our community. Not only for partnering with us for construction and renovations and the facilities and putting our members to work and providing all those great opportunities, but more importantly, for the critical work they're doing in cancer research and therapies for our community. As the woman before me, stated eloquently, cancer affects us all. I mean, it's indiscriminate. And I personally have several family members that I know are only still on this planet and alive because of the hard work and the research that Dana-Farber and BID Deaconess and all our institutions do here in our community, and the research and the therapies that they provide to so many of us. So again, on behalf of the Boston Builder Trans Unions, our 35,000 working families, representing 20 local construction unions and over 3,300 union contractors that you put to work on your projects. The building trades rise tonight in overwhelming support of this fantastic project, and we thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Barry Nelson, you can unmute yourself.
Good evening, and thank you to Madam Chairperson, the Boston Planning and Development Board of Directors for allowing me to come and share and to express my support for the new Dana-Farber Institute Hospital in collaboration with Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. I am a cancer survivor, and I am also a patient at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. I was diagnosed in March 2012 with advanced non-small cell lung cancer, and I was told that I had less than 6 months to live. And at that time, I actually wasn't going to Dana-Farber. I was going to another institution. And at that institution, one of the challenges that I was faced with was that I felt like I wasn't in a relationship with the providers that were partners in this process of me, getting my care and managing, the treatment plans and so forth. And because I felt like the communication was poor, I sought to seek support from Dana-Farber. And I met my current oncologist, Dr. Christopher Lathan, who uh, shared with me that that Dana-Farber was going to fight with as hard as I fought and use all the tools in the toolkit. And so that what I was previously shared was a diagnosis of possibly leaving this planet within less than 6 months. Here it is 13 years later, because I've been able to take advantage of the research and science and participate in clinical trials, excuse me, that has helped to advance my life. So I'm here to ask this board to strongly consider this proposal to allow Dana-Farber, Beth Israel to move forward with building this new facility. We know that cancer rates are rising across the U.S., which includes Massachusetts, and at the same time, there is a need for more cancer beds in the Commonwealth. We've all seen the news stories and heard friends talk about lengthy stays in emergency rooms while waiting to be admitted into the hospitals. The proposed hospital adds 300 more beds, addressing the bed shortages and ensuring that everyone who needs it has access to the best cancer care possible. This future hospital will be dedicated solely to treating cancer and handling the range of complications and unique needs that can come with it. A dedicated cancer hospital is important because studies have shown that patients in dedicated cancer centers have better outcomes and a better patient experience than those cared for in general hospitals. So from my experience, I know that Dana-Farber is committed to providing the very best care to all patients, and this new hospital will help them continue doing that work. I'm proud to offer my support to Dana-Farber Inpatient Hospital, and I ask you to do the same so that together we can save more lives from cancer. Thank you for allowing me to speak today.
Thank you. Nikia Santos, you can unmute yourself.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Nikia Santos, and I'm a resident of Roxbury. I'm here to express my strong support for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute Hospital. I'm currently a patient at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, and I was diagnosed in 2023 with a desmoid tumor. When I was diagnosed, the hospital where I went did not know how to treat this specific type of tumor. The way I was treated by the team that diagnosed me at that particular hospital was horrible. I was even treated poorly when I went to go visit the emergency department. I waited over 6 hours just to have a physician come speak with me. I decided to move my care to Dana-Farber, where my condition was explained to me, treatments were discussed, and my concerns were addressed. They explained about all the services at Dana-Farber, from social workers, nutrition, integrated therapies, and support groups. At Dana-Farber, I am seen as a human being, and my race is not a factor in how I am treated. Cancer does not discriminate. Everyone that goes to Dana-Farber is here to receive the best treatment that could save our lives. This is not just my story that I am here to tell. It's also my sister's story, my father's, and my aunt's, who are all receiving treatment at Dana-Farber. We need this hospital so that we aren't left waiting in pain in emergency rooms with our immune systems compromised. Ask yourself, how is that right? This is one of the many reasons we need this hospital. I know Dana-Farber is committed to providing the very best care to all patients, and this new hospital will help them continue to do that. I am proud to offer my support of Dana-Farber's inpatient hospital, and I ask you, the board, to vote in favor so that together we can save more lives.
Thank you. Janie Rayner, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, my name is Johnny Rayner, and I am a resident of Roxbury. I was diagnosed with lobular carcinoma stage 3C breast cancer in February of 2022. I found the lump myself and had my first mammogram, which showed the results of an aggressive form of breast cancer that had already spread to my lymph nodes. I began getting treatment at Dana-Farber with Dr. Chen and was given an aggressive form of treatment and chemotherapy, mastectomy, to proton therapy radiation. If it wasn't for Dana-Farber, I don't believe that I would be here now to be a mother to my 3 young children and be able to navigate the entire process that was put on me with this diagnosis. I am extremely grateful for Dana-Farber and the care and the commitment that they showed me throughout all of my treatment. I just finished my reconstructive surgeries in March of 2025, and they were with me throughout the whole process. They advocated for me to get a new surgeon when I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get my reconstructed breast, which mattered a great deal to me. I am advocating with great advocacy for this new hospital, as I know myself that I've been in hospital and there's been a lack of beds, and also just to be treated with kindness and care matters an unsurmountable amount when you are going through this journey with breast cancer or any other type of cancer. I implore you to please allow this hospital to be built. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to testify about this project on the Zoom? Please raise your virtual hand. We're completed.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the board?
I have a couple. I think we all will. Every meeting, there's always one project that's my favorite to vote on, and this one is certainly it. And Michael, as good of a presentation as you gave, and as attractive of a building as it is, and the commitment to sustainability, the most compelling reason to support this was articulated by Cheryl and Barry and Nakia and Johnny. This building, this hospital will save lives, and that's why we are here. So I am enormously grateful for the work, the collaboration, the leadership of this department, working closely with all of you. There is not a family who has not been touched by cancer. I'm hard-pressed to think of a family in Boston who has not had experiences at Dana-Farber, some successful, some not, but the level of care there is second to none. And I don't want to give the BI short shrift either. I will likely not be at next month's meeting because I hope to be diagonally across the street from this with my wife welcoming our second child, who will be another BI baby. So we're grateful for this partnership and an excellent level of care that's received. And it's just terrific. I love the way the building looks. I think that, we sometimes... I think it's a trade-off to have a good-looking building or one that serves the public good. This is one that can clearly do both. I guess I do have 2 questions. First is, and you may have said this, where is the Joslin Diabetes Center going?
Sir. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Jared Dorn. We are moving them to the East Campus, so we've moved some of our services off-site, and we'll be bringing them into our East Campus in various different locations.
Will there be any reduction of patients served?
Nope.
Great. Okay, so that's good. I assumed that was the answer. Secondly, and this is maybe a little less positive than I anticipate the rest of my comments, my colleagues' comments. This process began in October of 2023. It was a very different world in October of 2023. Obviously, this is not research dollars necessarily, but there has been a significant impact of many of these life-saving institutions given some of the federal cuts. Has that impacted at all any of this development and what it's going to look like, or the timeline, for example? Thanks, Wendy.
I'm very happy to say no.
Good.
Dana-Farber is committed to research and in every way. And I think that one of the benefits at Dana-Farber is all that you heard comes back in spades through our philanthropy department. And so we have a tremendous amount of support in that way. And while we have a huge number of NIH grants, it is not the majority of our funding, and we are committed to continuing our research.
That's great. Excellent. No, I knew you would be. I just wanted to obviously add because it's a scary time for many of our eds and meds. But this is terrific. Look forward to being there. This is just wonderful, and thank you all for your great work. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Through the chair. I'm a Brigham and Women's baby. All my children. Brigham and Women's. And I was in one of the books, Strong Arms. But anyways, no, but seriously, you know, I'm here, I talk about construction, but, you know, I can't start with construction unless I say, first of all, unfortunately, this is a much necessary building that needs to be built. Beds in the area, beds for this, for cancer itself, for treatment is essential. And I'm just glad to see you guys just, you know, stay in the lead in this and, you know, to hear the testimony of the strong individuals that just gave their testimony is definitely, it's eye-opening. So I greatly appreciate everything you guys have all done. I greatly appreciate everyone that has contributed to this project. You kind of answered my question with the procedure of construction. Things seem to be going as scheduled, so I'm definitely glad to hear that. It's a beautiful project as well. Just keep going. So thank you very much.
I think I'm here at least in part because of work that you folks did or your predecessors a number of decades ago when I went through a smoking cessation program that you were running for a number of institutions in the area, and it worked. And I know the ways in which you are committed to community and service. And you're doing spectacular work. Being where you are obviously makes it difficult to expand what it is you're trying to do. I mean, you're surrounded by institutions and roads and constraints, and what you've come up with is, I think, a very successful and innovative facility that will continue to serve the world, really. I commend you in part also for bringing on two distinguished design firms in Payette and von Valkenburg. They're here, just as you are, and they've made a commitment to building very successfully in Boston. So I thank you for the work that you're doing, and I commend you because I think that you're really an exemplar of what a local institution can do to serve the community.
Thank you. Yeah, look, I'll kind of keep my comments. I'm in my emotional era, so like, so I'm gonna focus a little bit more on the design. But I love the ethereal elegance of it all, and the what a beautiful building. I love a building with a story, and I love that we're seeing a lot more of that in the city and in things that are coming before us. You know, there's a lot of I find that there's a lot of lessons in healing in the systems of the natural world. So to kind of see all of that will be with, you know, the park and then also just making it safer and stop making it smokers corner and all of that stuff, like it's just it really is amazing and it is beautiful. Obviously I really like flowers, but I also want to comment on again, all of the task force and the community members that put in their time and energy into being an input and an oversight mechanism, right, for us all. The Longwood Collective, Mission Hill Neighborhood Housing Services. I could go on and on with the people who put in the letters to support that and in our reflection of the collaboration of the work that you guys do. And also want to comment on the institutional collaboration, right? We've got two institutions here, some shared ownership. Someone's going to own a couple floors. Others going to. I don't know how that's going to work, but the fact that you're making that work is a testament, I think, to the missions of your organization and to your commitment to collaborate for the patient's benefits, for the public benefit, and all of the public realm contributions that are happening through this project. And really, I know there's a couple more hurdles to go. That's an understatement, I'm sure, right? After we take this vote. But I am really hoping that that as well goes. I think the project will help you through those. The quality of the project is going to help you through those process. And I thank you for seeing this as a, again, more than a capacity, but also from a taking an equity lens. It's not lost on me the comments and and the experiences of people in medical institutions, specifically groups of people of color, and the ability and the commitment to provide culturally competent and culturally informed care is appreciated. So thank you for that and for keeping that a priority and a safe space for us all to get the care that we need and deserve. So with that, if there are no other questions or comments, I believe a motion is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call for a vote. Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Dr. Landsmark?
Aye.
Mr. O'Malley?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion passes. Thank you, everybody. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Whew. Could it be we're at item number 26? Director's remarks?
Is that it?
That's it.
Director Shen, Chief Chen, the floor is yours as soon as we close that door.
Good evening, and thank you for the board for your continued service. And I want to just start my remarks by just highlighting some of the development projects that were approved today. There were four new projects delivering 88 total new residential units, of which 15 will be income-restricted units. The total development cost of all the projects that we approved today would be about $1.7 billion. Now, they represent more than 800,000 square feet, and of which 54,000 will be residential. When constructed, all these projects will put approximately 965 tradespeople to work and create 1,310 direct jobs and almost 500 indirect jobs. We ended with a very compelling presentation for the new One Jocelyn Cancer Hospital. It's an incredible achievement, I think, for us as a community to be able to celebrate the approval of this future cancer hospital at One Jocelyn Place and along with medical area. This is a partnership between Beth Israel and Dana-Farber that will serve generations to come. In addition to the 300 beds that this hospital will provide, it will also provide enhanced cancer care. This project will also reconstruct the Jocelyn Park and redesign parts of the Brookline Avenue to enhance pedestrian safety, improve the flow of the road and traffic in general. The proponent has also committed to over $2.5 million to local organizations. Perhaps most importantly, this project will continue to bolster the Boston area and Massachusetts at large as a hub for cutting-edge medical treatment and research. I want to thank our staff, and not just Tyler. But there are many, many dedicated staff members that work behind the scenes that don't actually present in front of you. But it takes the entire team to make these projects actually go well. And also I would like to thank the community for giving their input into this project and all the other projects that we manage. Of course, there's also good news in the office to residential front. This month, we approved 2 new projects, one at 12 Post Office Square and the other one at 295 Franklin Street. the 12 Post Office Square and 10 Liberty Square, the combined two buildings, will be renovated to 70 new homes in downtown. And the 5-story office building at 295 Franklin Street will deliver 80 new homes. These two projects are 2 of the 15 applicants that are in the Mayor's Innovative Office to Residential Conversion Program, which is on track to creating over 760 units through the conversion of 20 vacant office buildings. With tonight's approval, 11 of the 15 projects in the program have now completed the Article 80 development review process. And the first project that we approve will have tenants moving in September, this fall. In fact, John Weil mentioned to me that one additional project actually went to ISD and received their building permit today. We'll continue to update you on this exciting program, and we hope that this program will deliver over 1,000 new homes in the downtown by next summer. Now, one of the new things that I'd like to add to my report is that I noticed today, as we typically do, we go through the certificate of completion without much comment or fanfare. But in fact, what those completions the completion of those projects are actually the delivery of important community benefits that were attached to these projects. So I'd like to highlight in 2 of the projects that were receiving the completion of certificate of completions tonight, what in terms of what public benefits that these projects delivered. So the first one, 1515 or 1515 Commonwealth Avenue, delivered over $600,000 to the Austin Brighton Community Development Corporation to support the development of an affordable housing project at 6 Quint Avenue. Another $300,000 for the Boston Housing Authority for improvements to the Commonwealth development, $120,000 to Oak Square YMCA, $150,000 for transportation improvements identified in the Austin Brighton Mobility Study. And of course, the project delivered public realm improvements, including new landscaping, support for maintenance at Overlook Park, bike parking, and bike share stations on site. Another project that received the certificate of completion was 51 Melcher Street. That project, a relatively more modest project, provided $60,000 to a local scholarship fund, $45,000 to a local arts organization, and the project included the repairing of a sky bridge that connected 2 buildings over Melcher Street, making the public realm improvements that will bring Melcher Street into compliance with ADA requirements and provide a conference room for community use. So I also want to note that there are Chris Bream that was hired specifically to actually become the person that is responsible for making sure that these projects that receive certificate of compliances are actually delivering the in-kind benefits that were agreed to at the beginning of when the project was approved in the Article 80 development review process. So I want to thank all of the staff again and all the project proponents for delivering these benefits, and again for the community participation that led to the creation and the agreement on those community benefits. So with that, I end my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, well, that was it. I need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call for a vote, Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Dr. Lansmeyer?
Aye.
Mr. O'Malley?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, motion passes, meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, be a good neighbor. We'll see you next month.
You were about 3 minutes off.